प्रहिणोति तस्मै अम्हदेवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशम् मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या सम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। वेदान्तार्थविभासकाय गुरवे शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादी नगेन्द्रसङ्घपवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधां बिभ्रते तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततम् पूर्णाय बोधात्मने। सर्वतन्त्र स्वतन्त्राय सदात्माद्वैतवेदिने श्रीमते शङ्करार्याय वेदान्त गुरवे नमः। योऽवतीर्ण इहाचार्य रूपेण यतीनां मुदे श्रीमन्नारायणं वन्दे तं हरिं करुणानिधिं मननाख्यं प्रकरणं वासुदेवयतीश्वरैः रचितं विस्तरेणाद्य संग्रहेण प्रकाश्यते बालानामुपकाराय मम विज्ञानसिद्धये तत्र श्री बालगोपाल कृष्ण सन्निहितो भवेत्। सच मोक्षो ब्रह्मज्ञानादेव सिद्ध्यति. This was the topic which we have seen. Now, we must understand that unlike karma when becomes a sadhana, or when karma can be categorically called as some form of a karanam, then over there something can be created, manufactured, borrowed, brought, modified, or even it could be held with another bhavana, samskar, etc. All these are possible. All this is possible. But jnanam does not do anything of these. Does not do anything. Whether it is ghata jnanam or brahma jnanam, by the very virtue that it is jnanam, ghata jnanam means knowledge of the pot. Brahma jnanam means knowledge of Brahman, Paramatma. Knowledge does not do anything except for there are these two things that happen with knowledge. One is that knowledge removes ignorance and it illumines something which already is. And therefore, knowledge apart from these two things, there is nothing more that is accomplished by knowledge. Simply removing the ignorance and illuminating that what is already there. It doesn't create anything. By knowing the pot, a pot is not created. By knowing the pot, pot means any object, Ghatashyanam. By knowing the pot does not get modified. So when you know now, you know the pot, it simply has modified into a pan. No, nothing like this ever happened. When you know the pot remains a pot, and pot was a pot even before you knew. And so a fact simply gets illumined by knowledge. Another very important thing about knowledge is knowledge removes ignorance. But let us also not forget that this ignorance has got a power, and that power is of projecting something which is not there. Now, to put it simply, it means because you did not know it is a rope, not knowing it is a rope, this ignorance itself now presented as snake. Because even if you know it as a snake, it is not knowledge. If it is not knowledge, then what is it? Is it anything other than ignorance? Because not knowing the rope, this fact still continues even if you knew it as snake, even if you know it as snake. And therefore, this is a snake. So we are taking the example of Rajju Sarpa. This is the famous example. So now, because one did not know, is my voice clear to you people? All right. Because you did not know it is a rope, what has it created? A snake. Meaning, all these things of creating, showing, all these things can happen under the ignorance. Knowledge does not create, manufacture, modify anything. It simply removes the ignorance. And along with ignorance, all those projections, all that was created by ignorance, every modification of ignorance also goes away. All right? It goes away in the sense that it is badhitam. You should understand this word. Goes away means you immediately will say, sir, since we know Brahman, why are we seeing this duality? It goes away means that it gets falsified. Okay, badhitam. You understand this, that we know that the space does not have any color. There is no color or form to the space. Space is not circular, cubical, rectangular, flat, round. There is no space, there is no form associated with this space. Similarly, there is no color also, so there is no color or form to this space. And yet, we are able to say that the space above the earth is like an inverted pan, is like an inverted wok, kadhai, katah. And it has got blue color. So we are able to associate color and form with the space which is non-existent in the space. And that is also your experience. But the knowledge now that the space does not have any color or form, what does it do? Though you have the experience of seeing the space above the earth as being, a dome shaped, okay, like a dome, like an inverted kadahai, and it has blue color too. This experience is falsified. Now, our question to you is, how long are you going to see the sky or the space as dome shaped? Can't hear you. How long will you see? As long as you are on the earth, you will see the sky as dome shaped. And as long as you are bound by the atmosphere of the earth, you will see the sky as blue, because light that filters through the layers of atmosphere on the earth creates this blueness of the sky. Okay, so it is because you are present on the earth. If you were to be on Mars, you will see the sky as red in color, because the combination of the gases around the Mars is such that the light will get only will filter through showing red color. You see this? So it is because of a condition, and as long as that condition is going to be there, then that illusion will be there. Though now that it is an illusion, though you are going to see something which is non existent, yet by the power of the knowledge, it is falsified. You now know that I may see the blue sky, I may see it as an inverted dome, I may enjoy the blueness of the sky, I may even make a poetry and send it to my girlfriend, but what happens? There is my knowledge now has falsified it. So falsification is what is meant over here by the word removal. Okay? And finally, even this will also go away. When the upadhi finishes, even this will, the condition is not there. When the condition of being on the earth is not there, then the blueness and the roundness of the sky will also go away. Similarly, as long as the prarabdha of the jnani continues, of the Brahmajnani, of this enlightened one is there, meaning as long as the body mind structure is there, till then, though this duality of this entire world is seen, yet now his knowledge allows it to be falsified. Okay? To be falsified. And in order for any transaction to take place, in order for our vyavahara, the transactions to take place, it is not necessary that something has to be true, has to be real. Correct? I will give you an example. Now, you can tell me, Swamiji, I will see you tomorrow at sunrise. Okay. And I can tell someone that, well, I have to leave this place before sunset. Now we are able to do all these transactions of coming, going, seeing, meeting with regard to sunrise and sunset. Yet we know for sure that there is nothing like sunrise and there is nothing like the sunset, because the sun never rises, the sun never sets. What is happening is that the earth is spinning around its own axis. That is all that is happening. Yet we have sunrise and we have sunset, and we can have various discussions, transactions, so on and so forth, based even on these things, which are not even real. And therefore, for transactions to take place, something has to be real, is not the condition. Remember this. Only then the transaction will take place is not true. Okay. So therefore, Brahmajnanad eva moksho siddhyati. It means it is by knowing Brahman that the liberation is accomplished. And what is the nature of this liberation? That this liberation means dukhasya atyantika nivrittihi sukhasya paramasukhasya praptihi. Now, meaning it is the annihilation of dukkham altogether. And this definition is accepted by all the schools of thought, whether they are the Buddhas, the Jainas, the Purva Mimamsakas, the Vaisheshikas, the Naiyayikas, the Sankhyas, Yogis, and of course, Vedantins accept this. Yet now, we are allowed to understand something more about moksha through this definition, through what was said as jnana deva siddhyati. It means, what is it that the knowledge does? Removes the ignorance. Removes the ignorance. Now, therefore, we understand that the bondage from which one wants to be free, that bondage is nothing more than ignorance. Is nothing more than ignorance. I remember one incident when I was with Swami Hamsananji Maharaj in Rishikesh only. He led a life of an avdhut. So I had this, great opportunity of being with him, serving him, etc. So at times there were people who came to Swamiji and they would question. And, for other people who could not understand Hindi, and I used to be the translator. So what happened was that one such person came. I mean, of course, he spoke Hindi, but since I was sitting, now people came with their stereotype questions, just because, I mean, it is good that wherever you go to the Tirtha Kshetra, to these, sacred shrines and all these things, you should seek some Mahatma to do satsang. Otherwise, what you go come and some punya will be there, but something really has to happen. So this seeing these Mahatmas is more important in the Tirthas also. So what happened was, this person came and he said, Swamiji, we are drowning in this samsara saga. And this may happen. Sometimes our experience of the world is quite overwhelming. It may appear as if you are, you're falling into an unending pit of sorrow. You do not see that there could be any way out of it. And whatever way that you may choose to go, that also leads into sorrow and sorrow and sorrow. So what happens is, now this person said that Swamiji, we are drowning in Bhavasagar, Samsara Sagar, in this ocean of misery. How to swim across it, how to go across that. And this peaceful old man, he just said, अरे भाई तुम तो उसके पार ही खड़े हो. जागृत स्वप्न सुषुप्ति इतना ही तो संसार है. और इस जागृत स्वप्न सुषुप्ति को देखने वाले तुम तो संसार से परे ही हो. All your experience of waking, dream, and deep sleep, this much alone is samsara. What else is samsara? Everything about the samsara, good, bad, whatever you are chasing, whatever you hate, whatever you are attached to, and your regrets and ambitions and everything is just this much: waking, dream, and deep sleep. Nothing beyond it. All your lok, parlok, everything is just sitting here. Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. And by the very virtue that you are the illuminator of this Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, of all the three experiences, and beyond these three experiences, no experience, just these three. Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. So you are already the illuminator of all this, and therefore you are not in the Jagrat, not in the Swapna, not subjected to all that is Drishyam. You are the Drashta, the seer. This is all that which is seen, Drishyam. And therefore you are already beyond this samsara. Then what is left is only for you to recognize this fact, means to know this fact. And for sure, one should know, and therefore this samsara can never ever touch me. Hey, how have you found this? How have you found this freedom from samsara? Just by knowing. And therefore, what is the key to liberation is knowledge. And what is it that the knowledge opposes or removes? Ignorance. And therefore, now please tell, what is bondage? Ignorance alone. And therefore, the Upanishad says that in knowing Paramatma, you will be liberated, because ignorance is the bondage. And therefore, he who is able to appreciate and see that ignorance is the cause of all the dukkham, now for him, knowledge is the only option, is the only way. And that's why, what did the Upanishad say? Nanyah pantha vidyate yanaya. Therefore, there is no other way but to know. But to know. Ityadi shrutibhyaha. That's why this is how the Shruti is. This is established by the Shruti, by the Praman. Now the next topic which is there is, sir, we understand that ignorance is the bondage or even the cause of bondage. Because generally, we see and we understand that we don't appreciate ignorance as a bondage. Bondage means which as if binds you to dukkham, to suffering, is called as the bondage. Okay. Therefore, if you are tied with a rope to a very strong pillar, okay, with a rope to a strong pillar. Now, what are you going to say? Is that this rope is my bondage, correct? Because it has bound you, because the rope binds you to the pole, to that pillar. Now, similarly, what do you discover? That you are bound to dukkham. You don't want to suffer, but this suffering comes on its own accord. Hey, you don't have to invite, hey, come on Monday and make me suffer. Huh? It comes. It comes even from those sources which you have identified as your sources of happiness. From those sources also it can come. So you cannot say, so it comes, it keeps, like some person one day said, I like eggplant, brinjal. I like brinjal, I like eggplant. Then from the next day onwards, breakfast, eggplant, lunch, eggplant, dinner, eggplant. And every day, finally that is eggplant, Baba is my suffering. No more eggplant. The name is also so bad. Already non-vegetarian name. I don't know. The Hindi also such name, Bangan. And nobody will want to name their son also Bangan. Violent name. It has gun in it, Bangan. So you don't want, you see, Lakaman. So what happens is that even from those sources which you say make you happy, those the same things, same people, same thing, they also can make you. So therefore, suffering comes on its own accord. Now the question is, what is it that is keeping you bound to this suffering? You don't want to suffer. You don't want to become sad. You don't want to be bored. You don't want to feel lonely. You don't want to feel left out. You don't want to feel that you have lost. Hmm? And yet, it does happen. Why, sir? So, something which is keeping you bound, and then people say, oh, it is because of my wife, because of my husband, because of my parents, because of the political system, because of the educational system, because of this person, because of that person, because of something else. So we are able to enumerate various causes and reasons for the suffering, but we are not able to understand it is the ignorance which really is the cause of suffering. And as long as one is not able to understand it is the ignorance which is the cause of suffering, till then the person truly is not a student of Vedanta. Then to add to this, we have theologians who will come and say, no, 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 some some devil, some planets, something else is the reason for your suffering. But then the suffering comes because of ignorance, is what we have to see. And unless and until this fact is seen and appreciated, you will be a mumukshu, but you will not be a jigyasu. And what is the first Brahma Sutra? Athato Brahma Jigyasa. It is the desire to know. Jigyasa. And the one who has this desire, Yatum Ichha Jigyasa. He who has this Jigyasa is over here the student of Vedanta. Is the seeker who is here. Just I am a spiritual seeker, I am a spiritual seeker. Now, what do you mean by I am a spiritual seeker? Now, what do you mean by spiritual seeker? Oh no, I am spiritual seeker. What exactly, sir, do you really mean by being a spiritual seeker? No, sometimes, I see some ghosts. I see my ancestors. So then what happens even if you see them? Huh? What happens? He saw ancestors. Now what? Oh no, Swamiji, some sixth sense. We don't admit any sixth sense, by the way, I must tell you. We are into five senses, that's all. No sixth sense and all. At least over here, the Mimam Sakas etc. They do not have any space for these things. Hmm? We don't have anything. Anyways, so now the thing is that we have understood that the bondage is of ignorance, and in forthcoming pages, even this reasoning will be shown as how ignorance is the cause of suffering. So, suffering you understand as bondage, but ignorance you don't see as bondage. You want to be free from suffering, but you don't want to be free from bondage or ignorance. And so you retain the ignorance and change the superficial things. So that which was really causing the suffering stays over there. And therefore, even if you replace one person by another person, thinking that the first person was the cause of my bondage, the second one becomes. Then you change one job to another job, the next job becomes. You change one place to another place, the second place also becomes the cause for trouble, and so on and so forth. But we remain so silly throughout the life that we keep on changing places, we keep on changing jobs, we keep on changing people, we keep on changing whatever we may change, but that ignorance is still prevalent, is intact, and therefore suffering continues. Therefore, now in other places, Bhagavan Shankaracharya, he says that the one for whom the ignorance has finished, finished in the sense the ignorance is gone, then what happens with such a person? That he may be alone or he may be with people. He may be in midst of activity, or he may be totally without any activity too. For such a person, he always revels in joy. He revels in joy. Puj Maharaj used to say, वो तो जंगल में भी मंगल कर देगा, जंगल में भी मंगल. जंगल में क्या, दंगल में भी मंगल होगा. Even where people are wrestling, over there also for him there is peace. Everything may be right against you, and yet he is at perfect peace. His peace is undisturbed. Why? Because that element which was making these circumstances and situations appear as if situations of suffering, that Vishavalli has gone away. That what was contaminating, making it poisonous, that very poison has gone away. Now, how can anything be poison? So now ignorance goes away. How does ignorance go away? Through knowledge. And therefore, knowledge of Brahman, knowledge of Paramatma. And I'm not going to, Swami Dayananji Maharaj used to be very clear, is that we use the word God, and then this creates a lot of confusion. So in order to avoid that, let us keep the word as Brahman only. Ishvara, Parameshwara, let us keep it that way. So now, to know this Paramatma, Parameshwara, Brahman, how can this Brahma be known? In order, and the common rule is, in order to know anything, all that you require is the Pramanam. Okay? All that you require is Pramanam. You understand the word Pramanam now. Pramana means Pramayaha Karanam, the instrument of knowing, the appropriate instrument of knowing. For example, you have visual faculty, and then you have this olfactory faculty. So Chakshurindriya and Ghanendriya, olfactory. And both of these indriyas are karanas, are the instruments of knowing. Through one instrument, you know colors and forms, and through the other instrument, you know various smells. Okay, olfactory. You know various smells. But what happens is, if I want to know the colors and forms, I cannot employ this olfactory. I cannot employ the nose and say that nose means Ghanendriya. I cannot let me sniff and find out if it is red or blue, green or yellow. Can you do that? Let me sniff and find out whether it is round or square. No. You see? So you require the appropriate instrument of knowing. And therefore, when it comes to Brahma, Paramatma, what is the instrument? And we say the instrument is the Veda. And in the Veda also, the last portion of the Veda, which is called as, which is the Upanishad, and therefore it is called as Vedanta. But then, how does it function? Well, we have understood that there is an instrument, but that instrument also has a method of working. Correct? It has a method of working. How does that thing work? Or how would you make it work? That is also, this is better. How will you make it work? You don't have any problems if you have eyes, meaning when you have the Chakshurindriya, all that you require is to open the eyelids and the colors and forms will become visible to you. Okay? So these are it is already there in place and functioning. But when you have to bring an instrument, get that instrument, acquire it, you will also have to make it sure that it functions, and anything which is preventing it from functioning then will have to be eliminated. Hmm. So now, how does this pramana even work? So now it is said over here, Tach Brahma Adhyaropapavadabhyam Jnatavyam. What is the process that is employed by the Upanishad so that the reality is revealed? Okay. Why am I saying reality? Because other than what is called as real. So what is real. Then that factuality, that reality is what can be known. Knowing the snake is not knowledge. Remember this. Knowing the rope as snake is not knowledge. Knowing the rope as snake is an error. It is not knowledge. And therefore, you can call it erroneous knowledge, like the Brahmajnanam. You can associate the word jnanam with it. But it is what is it actually? Only an error. It is not knowledge. So you can know. Now, over here, how will this Brahman be known? Because it is real, it is, and hence it can be known. If it is not, it cannot be known. Oh no, but you have to feel God. If feeling and all this is, please keep it on one side. You have to really feel it from inside, feel it from outside, and what? Feel. Everything is okay. That bhavana you do. And we can also have bhavana for like, feeling that you are my enemy. And then you realize that this fellow had nothing against me. I simply imagined an enemy in him. Correct? So your feeling, etc., is also kind of, it can also become your sort of an imagination. Imagination, if you have to equate it to knowledge, it can never be, because the snake also can be called as something that is imagined. And therefore, it is reality because it can be known. But how does it become known? Now, here we say it is through the process. What is the process that the Upanishad brings for the fact to be revealed, for the fact to be known? Is Adhyaropa Apavad. What is this process? It is a dual process. It is a dual process. And therefore, it is one part of that process is adhyaropa, and the other facet is called as uh, apavad. क्या बोली तुम? अपवाद ही बोली. Okay. One is called as adhyaropa, the other one is called as apavad. So now it is through these two, and therefore it is adhyaropa apavadabhyam. So bhyam is the dual case. Okay. Through these. So Tritiya Vibhakti, dual case. Adhyaropa apavadabhyam. Like Sita Ramachandrabhyam Namaha. There was one sadhu, and this sadhu He was not learned or anything. So when people used to say Sita Ramachandra Bhyam Namaha, he said, I understand who is Sita. I know who is Ramachandra. But what is this Bhyam? What is this Bhyam? Then he came up with a solution. He said, this Bhyam means Hanumanji. So Sita Ramachandra Bhyam Namaha. A Bhyam means it is through these two. Through these two. What are these two over here? Adhyaropa apavadabhyam. It is through adhyaropa and apavada. Brahma is known. Tacha Brahma. Tat Brahma. Which Brahma are you talking about? Knowing which one is liberated. Because the word Brahma also has other meanings. One meaning of the word Brahma, of course, the principal meaning is Paramatma, but even the Vedas are also called as Brahma. A Brahmin is also called as Brahma. A person born in the kula, in the family of a Brahmin is also called as Brahma. So Brahmin is also called as a Brahma. So, and even the Chaturmukh Brahma is also called Brahma. But Brahmadev, you call it that way? When it becomes masculine, it will become Brahma, but it is still Brahma. So there are four meanings associated with the word Brahma. So now the question is, which Brahma do you want to know? Out of these four, which Brahma do you? We have all categories of Brahma. Ours is the supermarket. Which one do you want? So he says, Tach Brahma, that Brahman. Which Brahman? Knowing whom moksha is accomplished. Okay? Atimrityumeti, knowing that one goes beyond all death, etc. We want to know that. Knowing which, what happens? Apnoti param, the one who knows that Brahman, apnoti param. We want to know that Brahman now. So now by knowing this fellow, he is Mr. Sharma. What? You're liberated. No. I've known this is Mr. Sharma. Who is he? Hey, this Mr. Venkat Sharma is the son-in-law of Sadashiv Sharma. What happened now? Both of them are equally useless. Then what? What? You're liberated. So no. So we want to know that Brahman, which is Tacha Brahma Adhyaropa Bhyam Jnatavhyam. We want to know that Brahma, knowing which one will be liberated. And that Brahman is known through the process of Adhyaropa Apavada. Okay, how? What do you mean, Swamiji? Are there some words in English for this? Of course. Adhyaropa in English is called as superimposition, and apavada is called as desuperimposition. So superimposition and desuperimposition, through these two, the reality has to be known. Brahma Vastu has to be known. Aropita nivritya eva adhisthana jnanodayat. Why are you saying so, sir? That it is through these superimposition and desuperimposition? Because when you know what is superimposition, only then desuperimposition is possible. Like the snake is a superimposition where on the rope. How will you know the rope? You will know the rope by through desuperimposition. When it is said this is not a snake, this is a rope. Nowadays people are making such excellent sculptures and all those things from wood and rubber and somebody has made a snake, and the scales on that, the shine on every scale, etc., is so perfect. Array, is it a snake? Then that fellow says, no, it is just a wooden thing. Okay, so this is a wooden stick. He will say this is a wooden stick. So superimposition, and then how was the superimposition when you said this is not a snake, it is a wooden stick. And stick does not mean that it has to be necessarily straight, a crooked stick, spiral stick. Chinese people are very good at making all these things. Very talented. Anything that anywhere anyone makes, the Chinese people will make exactly like that comes. You will not be even able to tell the difference. Yeah. So in a school, they were talking to this teacher was teaching the students and said, give me antonyms, opposites. What is the opposite of original? So the one was they got up and said Chinese. Many which ways. Chinese goods. Anyways, so there is this is not a snake. This is a rope or this is a stick. Now this is desuperimposition. So here he says aropita nivritya eva. That what is. So where is the snake seen? In the rope. Is the rope the snake? No, sir. Is the cane the snake? No, the cane is not the snake. Cane is a cane. But the snake is seen exactly in place of the cane. Or the snake is seen what is actually the rope. And therefore, when the snake, that superimposition is seen as superimposition, now the adhisthana, the very substratum on which the superimposition was seen is revealed. Now, when you know that this is a cane, that the cane is revealed. The cane is revealed. Earlier, now there is no snake. So now you can question, where has the snake gone? Earlier I saw where has the snake gone? The snake has not gone through the window, through the escape, through the door, or has gone and hidden somewhere in a corner? No, nothing. The snake has become nivrit. It's going over there means it is equivalent to being non-existent. And therefore, aropita nivritya, aropitasya nasha is not there. So we are not employing the word destruction. What is the word? Nivritya. So this nivritti will mean badhaha, falsificate. Aropita nivritya eva adhishthana jnanodayat. Because that what is superimposed, when is removed, what happens? The substratum, its base, that which was providing it even existence, is revealed. Okay? Adhisthana jnanodayat. So this is that he brings you another pramana vakyam from one of the acharyas, because apta vakya also can be treated as pramanam. When can apta vakya be treated as pramanam? When it is in perfect resonance with Shruti. Somebody is an apta for you, trustworthy, but if that person's statement is not in resonance with the Shruti, it does not have the status of pramanyam, pramana. So here, one of the aptavakya, one of the acharyas, they say, adhyaropapavadabhyam jnatavyas nirnayaha. It is through this process of superimposition and desuperimposition one should know the tattva nirnaya. The one should come to the conclusion about reality. Tattva means reality. Tattva nirnaya, and that tattva is Paramatma. So what is the nature of Parameshvara should is to be known through this process of adhyaropa and apavad. This is the sentence. Now then, he gives you that how did even this Acharya come to this conclusion? He gives you a pramanam over here. There may be ample pramanas which have allowed this conclusion to take place, but he brings you one pramanam, and that pramana vakyam is from Kaivalya Upanishad for you. Na karmana na prajaya dhanena त्यागेन एके मृतत्वमानशुः इति वचनात् means iti shrutehe, iti shruti vachanat. Okay, we will see this mantra from the Kaivalya Upanishad when we meet for our next session. Do you people have any question to ask? You can switch your mic on. I will answer, or else I will listen to your question and come back to you with an answer if I have any. Please.
Mahadev Swamiji, I just want to know the word tacha. How did it become tacha?
It is tat.
Can you hear me?
It is tat followed by cha. So what will be the what will be the sandhi? Look at the sandhi rules of Vyanjana sandhi, and then you will find how tat, the last the when is followed by cha, what happens to the how does it gets replaced by cha?
Ji, then it becomes tat. Ji, Swami. Thank you so much.
Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaha Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vishishyate